Hi, so we are back making videos. It's been a little bit. So we had a huge project going on at the house that we just needed to tackle for the summer. And then our sweet Daniel that is doing our videography, he broke his collarbone and has not felt well. He did not break it from doing our project, but he broke it. So anyways, but good news, the surgeon said that he would recommend waiting to see if he needs surgery. And so we're just waiting to see if he heals properly, but it was a pretty good break, about like that. So anyways, hopefully we can get going with the videos. And we are focusing today on schwa, or in this video. So I know we've talked about schwa in other videos, but it's so important that you understand it. And this whole entire video is about understanding schwa. So, okay, so here we have this word. So we've broken apart words before in the past videos, but we're gonna just break about the first couple. So find your vowels at the beginning of the word. You have one consonant in the middle, so it comes to the end, and then that forces that to be open, and it'll be an open syllable, and it will say O, so that says po. So now we're gonna find our next two vowels. You have one consonant in the middle, so it'll be forced to the end, and that opens that to be long. But remember, I's and E's in the middle of a multi-syllable word will say it's short sound most of the time. That is a reading rule. And so that's gonna say li. So then we have our two vowels here. You have one consonant in the middle. It's going to force to the end. And now look at that. Sometimes you think, oh, is that TI? Could it be a digraph? Here we know there's no way that that is a digraph because that's a consonant. Remember, TIs, SIs, and CIs can only be digraph if it is followed by a vowel, and that is a consonant right there. So that's going to say T and kol, political. Now, this right here is a vowel, then an L. Vowels and then L's in the unaccented syllable will turn to schwa. And this is a vowel L in the unaccented syllable. So that closed A, or vowel L, however you want to say it, it's closed and it's a vowel L. So it's going to turn to schwa. So it's going to say the sound. Now, that symbol, the upside down E, is the symbol for schwa. So when you look up in the dictionary, you will find this, and you know that it's going to say the short U sound, okay? So the sound. And that's, you will see this in lots and lots of words that forces that to say All right, political. That is a closed A in the unaccented syllable. It's saying ul. Or you could say it's a vowel L. Okay, water. Now, you would think maybe this is a closed A, but it is a closed A, but it's not turning to schwa because it's the accented syllable, and this W is forcing that A to say ah. Now, we talked about in another video that you could watch that. So no schwa there, even though it's a closed A. Now look at this one. Local. We're gonna find our two vowels. There's one consonant in the middle, and it will slide to the end. Forces this one to be open, an open syllable. It forces the vowel to be long, so this is gonna say O. And so it says low. Cool. Now look, vowel, then an L, or you could say this is a closed A in the unaccented syllable. This is not accented, so this is going to say schwa. Local. See how it's saying the schwa sound? Whoops, that doesn't look like a very good schwa symbol. There we go. That's a better schwa symbol. Okay, although. Well, this is not turning to schwa because it is a unit sound. Now, this unit sound has a double L because oftentimes you will see this at the end of words. And this follows a spelling rule. If you have a vowel next, one vowel next to an L, it needs to be doubled in a one syllable word. Okay, so that is a reading and a spelling rule. But look, this is a unit sound. It says all. So, but if it's in a one syllable word, a multi-syllable word, you only put the one L if it's not at the end. So that is saying it's unit sound, although. Information. Now you have a unit sound that says T-I-O-N. This is a digraph, and this will always be a unit sound, and this will always be not accented. So that is a closed O in the unaccented syllable, so it is saying it's schwa sound. Schwa sound because it's an open A, but if you have T-I-O-N, this is typically always accented, and you have your Latin root form. So you have two accents here in this word, form and. Okay, now family. Family could be a little bit different because you can hear family, or you could hear family. And it doesn't really matter how you say it. It will be, it could switch this I. See how it's a vowel, then an L. This I is switching to schwa. Or I have seen where it's not. It doesn't matter how you say it. If you say it illy or ully, both are correct. So, but if you're struggling, this might need to be a spelling word if you're saying it as a schwa. Many schwa words really should be practiced as spelling words because they're very hard to spell, because they can be every single vowel in their alphabet that can turn to schwa. So it's easier to read schwa than it is to spell schwa. So second, this SEC is the accented syllable. This O is a closed O in the unaccented syllable, so it turns to schwa. Council. You might think that this could turn to schwa, but this is a vowel team. But look, we have a vowel L in the unaccented syllable, and it's turning to schwa. See? Council. And there's lots of different ways how to spell soul. So I would put this as a spelling word. Minister or minister. Both ways, this turns to schwa. Or maybe it doesn't, depending on how you grew up, how you might say it. Both would be correct if this would be schwa or not. Therefore, maybe this could be schwa, but this does not have a schwa. This is a compound word, and this is a silent E. Okay? If you want to spell or at the end of a word, spell it O-R-E. Okay, T-I-O-N again, right here, action. The T-I-O-N is a unit sound. That is always schwa, always. And this is hooked to your Latin root right here. Woman. Now, woman, this is the schwa sound. It's in the unaccented syllable. Now, several children have a confusion on how to spell woman because they can't understand how that A is working. So, but I always connect it. So we have man, which is super easy to spell, and you connect it to woman. Okay? Man and woman. They're both singular, and then they have a confusion with women. So right here, you just spell it with a W-O again. So man means singular, men means plural, and woman and women. All right, difficult. Now this is kind of interesting. I think it's kind of strange that they would put a U-L as schwa because it's saying it's short U sound. And this is a closed U, so it's going to say it's short U sound, but they put that as schwa so you can see difficult. Okay? See how that's a vowel L. Nature. Well, could this be schwa? No, because this is the accented syllable. Open A's, when it's accented, say. So open A's say the sound you would expect, and that is the long A sound, A. President. Now, several people say president different ways. You could say president with the eh sound. President, president. So this could turn to schwa. I would just have this as a spelling word, so that you make sure that you spell this correctly. But that can turn to schwa, depending on where you live and how your family speaks. So, family, we have that again. Now remember, I can turn to schwa, so I just remind you to incorporate your family into learning and understanding schwa, and have fun with your family as you learn this fun thing about your language. Serious. Now, O-U-S has the schwa sound. Now, if you hear us at the end of a word, almost always you're going to spell it O-U-S. Now, O-U-S is also a suffix, and that's how you would spell us when you're adding it onto a base word. But that will have the schwa symbol when you are looking it up. Allow. Now, this allow is the accented syllable. This is schwa. It is not accented and it's closed, so it is saying the schwa sound. But you might think, oh, well, this is a closed O. Why isn't it saying the schwa sound? Because OW is a vowel team, and that is not a closed O. It's a vowel team. Correct. So this is a kind of a tricky word also, how you would find schwa in here. So you would say, this could say correct, or it could say correct. Now, however you choose to read it or pronounce it, both are correct or correct. This could turn to schwa, or you can use it as core. Now, oftentimes this is a Latin root. You can tell this is Latin right off the bat because it has a CT. CTs and PTs just identify Latin roots right off the bat. And then this is your chameleon prefix, and it will say ka. Typically it will say it's short sound. It's schwa sound, but either way is correct in this one. Now, nearly. Well, you might look at this A, could this possibly be schwa? Well, it can't. This is a vowel team in here. So it's not going to be that. So it's not going to have schwa in that one. Unemployment. Well, this is kind of tricky. Where do you think you would have schwa in this one? Just kind of think about it for a minute. Where do you guys think, boys? Where would schwa be in this one? In unemployment. Can you hear me say it?
In between the L and the Y. O.
The O. So Paul thinks it's the O. What do you think, Dee? Okay, so Daniel's thinking the O also. Well, it's not that, because OY, that's a vowel team.
Oh, wait, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a vowel team. So that is no way. If you see an OY in there, you know it's a vowel team, and that will not ever switch to schwa. So what else do you guys think it is?
The first D.
Okay, unemployment. Now, this one right here turns to schwa, which is really unusual because ment is a suffix, and employ is your base word, un is your prefix, and this is unusual that this happens. Now, how would you always spell that? If you know ment, if it says ment or munt, you know that suffix is always spelled M-E-N-T, so that will help you when you're trying to spell something like that. Even if you're hearing the schwa sound, you know it's M-E-N-T. So that is an E that will turn to schwa, which those really don't have a spelling rule to help you understand that, like the A's and the O's and the vowels, they really have spelling rules to help you with that. But this really doesn't. Now, afraid. Now this one, this is the schwa sound. Frayed is your vowel team. Now this is an AI, so it won't turn to schwa. So that's a vowel team right there. Now this one is opinion. Which one turns to schwa there, boys?
Daniel thinks it's the first I.
Okay, you think it's this side? Opinion. Opinion.
I think so.
Okay, there's 2 O's.
The first one.
Okay, so this does turn to schwa, and this one turns to schwa.
Wait, what?
Now, you could, sometimes it could, this one is a tricky one too. So this could be opinion or it could be opinion. Now, yeah, Paul.
I thought that only one letter can be schwa in every word.
Oh, that is a great question. So that is not true. So open A's, closed A's, or closed O's in unaccented syllables. If it's unaccented, it can totally change. So that won't matter. See, these are both, pin is your accented syllable right there. And these right here are unaccented. So now, sometimes you can say that's your opinion. Then it wouldn't be schwa. But most of the time you hear opinion. That's your opinion. And this does turn to schwa, which is very unusual that you have an open O turned to schwa. Super unusual. Does not happen very often. That's why I put this word up here. Now, if you have I-O-N, it's going to say yun. And if you have N-I-O-N, you're going to have nyun. And that's the sound. You're going to have to remember that. This actually should be memorized. Okay? So that is schwa. Hope. This is a silent E syllable. This doesn't, it looks like nothing silent E like that should turn to schwa. This is a long O. So it's not closed or anything like that. Particular. Now we have this vowel L will show a schwa in the dictionary. It's saying the sound that you would expect. Okay, also this AR, when it's AR or OR at the end of a multi-syllable word, when it's not accented, we'll say Available. Okay, available. What turns to schwa in this word, boys?
The A.
Okay, which A?
The A's, Daniel. Be more specific.
Which A?
The last one.
Okay, so Daniel says that is, you will always know A-B-L-E, when it is, and it's mostly with words, it will always turn to schwa, able. Now you can have it sit all by itself and it would say able, because then that would be the accented syllable, but that will always switch to schwa. And we have the A right there, which says that open A in the unaccented syllable is switching to schwa, excuse me. Now upon, I would definitely put this as, I would probably put this as a compound word, but you can hear upon or up on. I think it's easiest to spell if you just think of it as up on, but it is pronounced upon, and so I would not say that we have any schwas in there. Suitable, so we have our schwa in that one. Remember, the A-B-L-E turns to schwa. Mostly A's and O's turn to schwa, but we know that all do. Now, real. This right here is a 2-syllable word. Most people think it's a 1-syllable word, but it's not. This vowel L is turning to schwa. That A is turning to schwa. And real. That's how you pronounce that, real. Okay? Local again. Which schwa there? We already talked about this one. Which one's schwa, boys?
The A.
The A. Because this is long, right? And that won't turn to schwa. Open O's don't turn to schwa very often. That's actually the only one that I've really studied that I know about. Okay, Paul, go ahead and sit down, sweetie. Season. Which turns to schwa? Okay, so where's schwa in this one?
The O.
The O right there. Season. Now, if you hear sun, you will often have S-O-N in many words, and you would spell it, and it will be schwa. So that is something that you should actually know, and that is part of the vowel team right there. Oh, information. Oh, we've already had this word. That is schwa. You need to have this information and you need to know it. Take this and apply it to your brain right there. Information. Take this information. Okay, bottom right there. Now, you will hear lots of words that will have bottom and T-O-M. So this is the unaccented syllable. This is the accented syllable. See how that is saying it's that's saying it's short sound. Are you guys noticing that? Okay. Oh, here's information. Paul, are you going to take this information and put it in your brain? Okay. I hope so. Take this information and ask your family to help you out with these things. Now, client. Now, this E is turning to schwa. It's hard for me to write with that. That E is turning to schwa right there. Can you see that okay, D? So unusual for E's, but they do exist. What, Paul?
For others, the O is what?
Now, other, nice, Paul. So other, the O is schwa, but this is unusual, and you just need to memorize other, because other is in lots of words, and this will be schwa even though that is accented. That says the schwa sound. You don't say other, you say other. Okay, schwa sound. Now, royal, right here. Roy is your base word, and this is your suffix. Now remember, the only suffix that we have that says ul is al. So if you're wondering, oh, should I spell it I-L-U-L, O-L, whatever, Y-L, you know, if it's a suffix, this is a base word, you know that it will always be al. You don't have to guess, because you know that that's going to be a suffix. Oh, here's information. Where is our schwa in information, Paul? Oh man, I just showed it to you. Did you see it? Where's our schwa in information?
The last O.
Thanks, Dan. The last O. Okay. Now, career. Where's it in career?
The E.
The A.
The A.
Why? Why is that one?
Because A's usually turn to schwa.
Open A's. Now closed O's turn to schwa. Open A's and closed A's in the unaccented syllable turn to schwa, and that's an open A. Okay? Does that make sense? Now, require. Any schwa in there? There is no schwa in that one. So let's look at a few more words. Now, equality, right here. See how it's a vowel then an L. It's not accented. Okay, E is your accented syllable right there. Oh, information, Paul, where's your accent? Where is your schwa in information?
The final O.
The final O. Now, remember, take this information and put it in your brain, okay? Failure. There is no schwa in that one. You might think that they're with an A, but that is a vowel team right there. Cultural, right there. Culture would be your base word. Col is your accented syllable. And look, the AL, you know that it would be spelled with an AL because this is a suffix. You don't have to guess with that one. Now, gentleman. Oh man, is turning to schwa because it is sitting in the unaccented syllable. But this man, so people might have a hard time with understanding what a gentleman is a very nice man. He treats people correctly. He treats them very nicely. So, but it turns to schwa. But if you're having a hard time spelling that schwa sound, you just need to remember that it's a man. A gentleman is a man. Okay? Oh, information. Daniel, are you taking this information and putting it in your brain?
Final.
Okay, the final O.
Again.
Okay, that's where your schwa is. T-I-O-N, you know that, or S-I-O-N, C-I-O-N, C-I-A-N, whatever. That is going to be schwa. Appropriate. Now, this one, you have your prefix right there. That is unaccented, and so it's going to say ah. Now look, this O could look like it would be like right there, but look, it's not, because that is an R. Now remember, we talked about R's and L's, how they'll snag this over. You don't split them in the middle. You pull both of them over, yeah.
Is there another schwa in there?
No, there's not another schwa in this one. But nice asking, honey. So you wouldn't pull this over. So the split actually doesn't split there. It splits right here, and that becomes long. So it will. There's no way that this could be short. Most of the time, open O's are never. I would just say never. They're not. Once in a while, you might have a weirdo word like that one that turns to that, but. Appropriate. Now remember, that I is saying E because it's followed by a vowel. Remember that spelling and reading rule. If you hear if you hear E followed by a vowel, you spell it with an I. Or if you see I followed by a vowel, you pronounce it as E. Director. There's nothing in there that turns to schwa. Sometimes you will see schwa with with an OR and ER. I never teach it that way. So because it says not whatever. Okay, low. This looks like it could be a closed O, but it is not, because this is a vowel team award. Now look, this one right there is schwa. Because why would this be schwa, Daniel? Right there.
Because it's open.
Oh, because it's an open A. Not just because it's an open A. All right? Open A's turn to schwa. This one wouldn't, because it's a vowel R next to a W. Okay? Vowel R's do not turn to schwa. And W's make it say or. Okay, now these are one syllable words that we talked about earlier in our lesson. So I never teach that schwa is in one syllable words. I teach that they're in multi-syllable words. Grammarians have different opinions about this. Now this does have a schwa sound. These should be sight words that are memorized, and you know how to spell them. You don't have to figure out words. They should be memorized. Come. See how it has the schwa sound? The schwa sound of. Now A's can either say a cow, or a cow. However, and you know, these will always, like the and will almost always be in front of nouns. If you see a noun, one of these are called articles. And if you see these sitting in, and you know that a noun is going to be following it soon. An adjective could be spreading right in between them. But you know that your nouns are going to be coming shortly after. Was, see how it has a schwa sound from what? Sight words, everybody. I think it's best to teach them as schwa in multi-syllable words, because it's too confusing for your children to teach it the other way. All right, so also, so now you will have ton in lots and lots of words. T-O-N in lots of words right here. So you need to remember this will be schwa. So like button, it turns to schwa. Or we have cotton. Okay, so, or we have wanton. We have those turned to schwa, but you also have words like mountain. See how they have the same sound. So lots and lots of words will be with the T-O-N, but so you just need to practice, and you need to have spelling words. I've heard some people say once you kind of know the rules, you don't really need spelling words, but you do. especially when they have schwa in them, I would make sure that you take your children's vocabulary words and have them read to you and say, oh, okay, can you find schwa in these words? And have them point out to you which ones are schwa and talk about it. And talk about how to break out part words and decode words. And just understand that. Make schwa your friend, that you're not fighting against it. So you're understanding it and enjoying. Recent. Now this is can you see that then, sweetie? This is a Latin root. Cent means 100. That's a prefix. Sometimes you might hear the unt in that. Recent, recent. That could have a schwa sound to it. Reason, you will have lots of words that end in S-O-N that have schwa. Now human. So many children have the hardest time spelling human. So you just relate it. A human is a man. And I relate it to man. And after I do that, all of a sudden the kids just say, oh, I know how, because you can't miss Hugh. You. I mean, it's exactly how it sounds. Okay? So this is the unaccented syllable. And so that is the reason why that's turning to schwa. It's unaccented and it's a closed A. Closed A's turn to schwa in the unaccented syllable. Now look at this, another. Now other, you just need to know how to spell other because it will always turn to schwa. There's not a true, I don't know the reason. But it will always turn to schwa, even though this is the accented syllable. This is not accented, so it is turning to schwa because it's a closed A. Now around, right here, it's an open A, and it is not accented. Second, so that is a closed O, so it is in the unaccented syllable, so it is turning to schwa right there. Parrot, that is. So now remember, most of the time, if they're English words, your accent's going to be at the front if you have a two-syllable word. Now, if you can notice that your Latin root is at the end, because typically Latin roots will sit on the end, then you will know that that's the accented syllable. So there's the accent on here, so that one turns to schwa because it's a closed O. Now angelic, this one's kind of a weirdo word, and can you see if there's any schwas in this word, Paul? Angelic, can you see if there's any schwa in this word? What do you think? Daniel says no.
No.
Yeah, there's not schwa in this. Now this is a unit sound, but when you say ang is your unit sound, and this E is making this G say J, so it says angel, angel, but look, once you add this suffix, it's changing the sound here, and it's saying an. So that's kind of an interesting word. So no schwa in that one, even though you might think it might be. Young, no schwa in there. Again, open A's in the unaccented syllable will say the schwa sound. That is open, that is a vowel team. Now, does. Now, does is the plural of do. Okay, that is your plural S. So that will not be schwa. How about animals? What do you think right there, Daniel or Paul? Where's your schwa in animals?
A.
Which one?
The last A.
Okay, this one turns to schwa. Look, it's a vowel then an L. Animals, it's not accented. Okay? Analysis. Where's the schwa there, Dan? The first one. That is an open A, not accented. This is the accented syllable, so that's why it says now. Can you hear that saying ah? Okay. Away. This is an, yeah, good job, Paul. This is the first A, so it's open A, so it is not accented. It's saying schwa sound, and this is the accented syllable, way. So this is part of a vowel team, so it will never be schwa, along. This is the open A right here is schwa. It's not accented. Balloon, where's it? Where's your accent there? I mean, yeah, I mean, where's your schwa there? Right there, balloon. So loon is your accented syllable here, and ba. All right, so now let's go. We're gonna switch gears a tiny bit we're gonna talk about what is an open syllable. We've talked about this before, but it's very important that you understand this. Go is the perfect example of an open syllable. So there's nothing here at the end. See, it's just, there's open. Now, if you put like a T, got, see how it's changing the sound of that O right there? So it's making that long. So if it's open, it's making the vowel long. So this is saying O because it is a unit sound. And this is saying O because this is how you actually spell O, and the H is silent right there. Okay, now we have open. Now here's a few unusual words that I think you should have as spelling words in here. This says open. Now sometimes you would have open, but most of the time you hear schwa. This E will turn to schwa, okay? The O is your accented syllable. Above. This above. Both of these have a schwa sound right there. So in the dictionary, you'll probably see that this will be a schwa. This is the accented syllable. And so this needs to be actually memorized. This needs to be a spelling word, because you can't just figure it out without knowing how to spell that. Because this should be, if it was following reading and spelling rules, it would say above. But that doesn't. Even, that E right there is, this E is the accented syllable, and this one is the unaccented syllable. So this turns to schwa. So compromise, there's not, because this is the accented syllable right here, and you would think that, see look, 1, 2, 3, there's the accent, okay? Which is unusual, because if you typically see C-O-M, you would think that this would turn to schwa, but it doesn't. It says compromise. Pennsylvania, where's the accent there? It has to say
Is it the I or the final A?
It's the final A. A's at the end will always be schwa, because A's at the end, if you want to spell A at the end, you have to have an AY. That's how you spell A at the end. So A's at the end say okay? So that has to be schwa, and look what here, guys. So this also can turn to schwa. It can say Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania, or it could say Pennsylvania. However you grew up saying it, it is correct. I've looked it up in a few different dictionaries, and it will be cited as an I, and it has been cited as schwa. So, but no matter what, the A at the end will always be schwa. Freedom. Look, that's unaccented, an unaccented O will turn to schwa. Now remember, we talked about other. You need to just know, this is the accent, but we'll always have the schwa sound. Mother. Generally. General. Both of these turn to schwa. Okay? General. General, can you hear that? Generally. Now look, this one, celebrate, celebrate. Oops, I already put the schwa symbol on that one. So this, I would say, that one would be a sight word for sure. Also, let's look at this one, two-man Congress. So we have an open O's, they do not turn to schwa, very, very, very small amount. But look at man. Man, one syllable words, even though it's closed, they do not do schwa. So that's why it's saying it's closed syllable. But look at this one, Congress. So this E could turn to schwa, or it could say Congress, or it can say Congress. It has all the different sounds. Now, Two Man Congress is a fun but a podcast that tells you a lot about the Constitution and helps you understand the Constitution and our rights a little bit better. So I really like the ones that they've talked about freedom of speech, and I love the ones that they've talked about with the Bill of Rights. So if you want to, you can go and check that out. So anyways, good luck with understanding Schwa a little bit better, and don't forget to get this information into your mind, follow it along, and try to learn it more with your family. Okay, we'll see you in the next video.